Good. So, just following up on our announcement, our release regarding Nathan Horton, we've made the determination to shut him down for the remainder of the playoffs. We felt it just wasn't in the long-term interest of Nathan to be having the specter hanging over him of trying to come back and during this playoff season. He's made one step forward and then two steps back. We just made the determination upon consultation with our doctors, with Nathan, that it would be prudent to shut him down for the playoffs and continue to rehab and for next year. So I'll take questions.
So did he have any kind of issues after that one day that he skated? I mean, are the symptoms still kind of there for him?
Well, what happened in general, Joe, is that he'd be tracking, he'd be improving, and then he'd have some symptoms, and they weren't huge symptoms, but they would always come up at some point after 3, 4, 5, 6 days of positive stuff. So it was frustrating exercise for Nathan. It was a frustrating exercise for us because we've been through this rehab before with players, and I've seen all kinds of rehab patterns now, because usually you can see when the player has color and when he's animated and that, you think he's turned the corner, and then they have a bout of post-concussion symptoms, and they manifest themselves in different ways. And with Nathan, sometimes it would just be a fogginess, sometimes he wouldn't feel right, and sometimes there'd be a big headache. But it was always after 3, 4, 5 days of positive progress.
How instructive has it been, just as an organization, to have gone through the thing with Bergeron, the thing with Savard, to now know sort of the protocol or how exactly you want to sort of treat these kind of situations?
Well, it's been instructive, and I feel like an expert now. I don't really want to be an expert at it, but you just get a sense now of having seen how these guys progress in their rehab, and you pretty much know where they are. And I can't be certain; I have to consult with doctors. But we've been very good in dealing with these things, and I feel we've been dating back to when Bergie first got concussed, and we decided to shut him down. And you just have to be cautious, and that's what we are with Nathan.
Peter, I know with these types of injuries, every player is different, but are you confident that he will be able to return next year and be able to play?
Yeah, I am, but who knows? Like I going into 2 weeks ago, you had asked me about him playing this playoffs. I'm like, I think there's a chance. And then he had a couple of setbacks, and then you have to take a step back and look at the whole thing, and that's what we did.
Unfortunately, last year when he suffered that concussion in the Cup Finals, it was almost like a rally cry for players, the fans. I know it's a little different, but now that you've made the official announcement, do you think you might be able to get that same kind of feedback from the players?
I don't know. If that happens, that's great. That's not really why we did it, but I understand the question.
Peter, how hard did Nathan take it? What's his mindset like right now?
Well, I think he was relieved. And he obviously thought that it was best for him. He ultimately he would have to agree with it, and he did. So I think with Nathan, he gets within the group, and he looks back at his contributions this past year and in the last playoffs, and he starts getting anxious. And that probably compounds it too. So I think he felt a sense of relief, and again, talking to Nathan over the course of the last couple of weeks, I mean, he doesn't look bad. He looks good actually, but he gets these bouts, these fogginess, doesn't feel right, and you have to be very careful.
Does it help at all that it's been 36 games since he's been out, and the team has kind of almost gotten used to him not being there, or sort of the roles have been kind of filled, going into the playoffs? You're obviously going to miss a guy like that and what he brings to the table, but the team has kind of sort of moved on for this season anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I think ultimately you want a goal scorer like Nathan, a guy with size and can score and shoot. You want him in the lineup. But our guys have adapted to change, and I went in the deadline thinking, at the back of my head, boy, I better try and get somebody if Nathan doesn't come back, hoping and thinking that he would be back and deal with a oversupply of players if we had to. So, but I mean, the team has responded well, and the additions have been good. So that's all we can hope for right now.